Good evening and welcome to join me on the 6 p.m. I'm Kejang Henry Atembe. For the news, let's flag off with our top stories. Tuesday in the northwest region of Cameroon following the kidnapping of school children and teachers of Government Technical High School ISU in the Menchum division. The government condemns torture and promises hard times for perpetrators. And breeders step up animal production, and as end of year feast draws nearer, the 6:50 News takes a walk into the Mongo division to meet some poultry farmers as well as pig farmers. And Cameroon's major opposition political party, the Social Democratic Front, has signed a convention to step up the fight for better working conditions in Cameroon. The deal was struck yesterday with more than 6 federations of trade unions in the country. Those were our top stories.
Canal International. Canal International.
Kejang Henry Atembe for the 6:50 News. You can consult us on our social media handles on Canal International on YouTube as well as on Facebook. And we'll flag up from the northwest region where there has been a spate of armed attacks in some parts of the northwest region, particularly in areas like Menchum and, of course, the Dongamantong division. A total of 3 persons have so far been killed and others hospitalized. So our staffman Anyi Collins Anyi reports from the northwest region.
According to a press release from the senior divisional officer for Menchum, a group of armed men attacked Government Technical High School GTHS ESO at about 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, December 12, 2023. Reports say 8 male students were taken away alongside the vice principal and discipline master, while many students were gathered in a classroom and stripped naked. The principal's office and a building hosting 2 classrooms were also set on fire by the assailants in the course of the attack. Some students were injured and later taken to the hospital, but their injuries are not life-threatening, just as the lives of the 8 students said to have been freed after security and defense forces intervened. Menchum's senior divisional officer, Abdullahi Aliyu, has called on the population of Eso village and Fungom subdivision as a whole to remain calm as security operations continue on the field. Relatedly, and still on the same Tuesday, December 12, a senior staff at the Divisional Delegation of Secondary Education from Dongamantong in Kambe was shot dead by unknown gunmen along the Ntaba Hill in Du subdivision. Mr. Zemkwe was traveling back to Nkambe when they opened fire on the vehicle he was traveling in. The ordinary level mathematics GC examiner is also former principal of Government Secondary School, Kita, in Akko subdivision. As if to say Tuesday, December 12 was an all-bad day in the northwest region, 2 gendarmes were killed at about 7:30 p.m. at My 7 in Mankon in Bamenda 2 subdivision. A police officer was also wounded in the attack perpetrated by yet-to-be-identified gunmen whose gunfire left local residents panic-stricken. The victims were out to quench their hunger and thirst at the Tam Junction at My 7 along the Bamenda Airport Road.
Well, thanks very much, Anyi Collins, who will stay with you there in the northwest region where the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has arrived to Bamenda for an official work and visit. Paul Atanganji was received at the Ops Station by the governor of the Northwest region, Adolf Lilafrik Chufo-Dubem. And of course, he was equally received by some municipal authorities, administrative officials, and security staff. He arrived at 1:30 p.m. From reports we gathered from our Northwest chief correspondent, Annie Collins, and of course, that is far ahead or after the 10 a.m. scheduled time. Now let's get the quick reaction of the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atangaji. We are expecting to get the reaction of the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atangaji, as he arrived the Northwest Chief Town today in Bamenda. Well, unfortunately, we will not be having that. Now let's move over to Yaoundé, where the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, has inaugurated an ultra-modern government bilingual technical college in high school in Yaoundé, that is in Sam. And of course, he did that on behalf of the President of the Republic, Paul Biya. That school stands as one of the finest, as we hear from you, Hyacinth Chair. We're expecting to get the report there from Yaoundé, courtesy Hyacinth Chair, on the inauguration of the ultra-modern school in the government technical high school in bilingual.
The new educational jewel, Government Bilingual Technical High School SAM, is finally here in standard structures to meet the demands of young Cameroonians vying for technical skills in Yaoundé 3 subdivision. The institution can now boast of a modern workshop for civil engineering with technological equipments for the testing of various construction materials. The students can equally be trained on topographical survey and the marking of construction sites. The carpentry and woodwork department now highly improved upon with multifunctional machines for wood processing. And this is the electrical engineering workshop, also furnished with different elements, same like the computer engineering laboratory, to foster the digitalization drive. These, among other departments, to mold the young people towards professionalism. And the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Joseph John Gute, was here on Tuesday, December 12, to inaugurate the technical school with a call for the students to make use of the opportunity.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Mobia, President of the Republic, for graciously designating me to preside over this significant event.
The project, realized by the government of Cameroon, is funded by the Islamic Development Bank.
Well, thanks very much, Hyacinth Chair. Of course, let's swing back to Bamenda in the northwest region of the country, where Annie Collins is telling us that poor road network is actually aggravating traffic jam, and the traffic bottleneck is unbearable for the people of that town. Annie Collins.
Last Saturday's convocation ceremony in the University of Bamenda revived the old problem of poor roads in Bamenda. Thousands of students and parents found it very difficult to travel to the university campus in Bambili for the ceremony. With the few and narrow roads between Bamenda and Bambili, several hundreds of cars and passengers got stuck in traffic jams.
How do you see the traffic situation in Cliquez?
With the remarkable absence of traffic police officers, drivers and other persons of goodwill did voluntary services to control the flow of vehicles and especially motorbikes. The population is still awaiting the much-promised beautiful roads for which houses and businesses were destroyed over 2 years ago. In a recent interview with Canal International, the city mayor of Bamenda said,
The road situation, is not being awarded at our level. It's actually going to be awarded by the ministry at the National Tender Board. And so the Minister of Public Works himself is in charge, and I've had clearance that this road is going to be executed. Probably as early as next year, the works will start.
With their guests waiting for them to celebrate their end-of-course certificates at home, some graduates abandoned cars for bikes from Bambili to Bamenda for as high as 2,000 francs per person instead of 500 or 700 francs by taxi.
Our chief correspondent, Annie Collins, reporting there. Thanks very much, Annie. Pork and chicken are certainly amongst the most cherished proteins, or amongst the most cherished proteins on end-of-year menu in most of the households in the country. And as the demand surge, breeders are ready to do brisk business. Kizi Kiga takes us for a walk to the Mongo division and to visit some of the pig styles and poultry farms.
This is the Hausa quarter in Melon. Here we get to meet two pig breeders, Valerie Wafo and Francoise Chinche. This month is quite a busy one for both men, who are doing everything to keep their families happy during this festive season. We can see them busy every morning to make sure that the pigs are doing fine. Notwithstanding the difficulties of the year ending, they still assure the melon population that there will be plenty of animal protein for end-of-year feast. Last year, I was able to raise from 60 pigs. With the difficulties this year, we are raising about 30 pigs. We assure the melon population that they will get quality pork this season. We sell both in wholesale and small quantities. There are others that choose to take a whole pig for Christmas feast and slaughter it themselves. Similarly, Julian Emmanuel Wawo is an experienced poultry farmer. He operated his poultry farm in his home. He assures the population that they can get fowls both in wholesale and retail cost. A few kilometers away, white pepper is in abundance in Penja, and the buyers shall not lack white pepper this season. It is a little bit difficult for us in the rural areas, but I am doing my best to put smiles on the population of Jombe Penja that they shall get the best. There will be sufficiently a good quantity of white pepper in the market, so the buyers should not worry. The white pepper of Penja is already in the market. As families come together to celebrate, these breeders play a vital role in ensuring that delicious and responsible sourced pork and chicken grace the dinner tables, making the holiday season even more memorable.
And communicators have been drilled on different mechanisms to fight against torture and to avoid or to use the appropriate means of communication or informing the public. And so in a training workshop that took place in Yaoundé this day, the communicators were reminded of the primordial role they have to play in making sure they stamp out these files from the society. Heisentia.
The phenomenon of torture keeps prevailing despite numerous condemnations and sensitization campaigns. It is against this backdrop that civil society organizations are brought together in this capacity-building workshop in Yaoundé to be drilled on alert mechanisms.
Ensure that everyone is capable of reporting ongoing cases or alerts on torture and degrading treatment, so that the African Commission on Human and People's Rights special mechanism, which is called CPTA, a Committee for the Prevention of Torture, takes the appropriate measures to address these situations.
Placed under the theme, the Abidjan roles of the Commission for the Prevention of Torture in Africa and the accompaniment of victims of torture, major practitioners are given tips on how to fight the vices through information.
We need to give them information, and some of the strategies to actually fight torture are being actually examined in this workshop. So leaving this workshop, we're actually going to accompany a lot of civil society organizations, the government, and many other stakeholders to ensure that the rules on the fight against torture, be it psychological or physical, are being actually implemented in the necessary avenues.
Among the trainees for the 2 days platform are bloggers and influencers who are expected to step up sensitization against all forms of torture through the social media.
And the Social Democratic Front, the SDF, and the Federation of over 6 trade unions have signed a convention to stop the fight or to step the fight against poor working conditions in the country. The deal was made yesterday in Yaoundé, December 12th, and of course they have called for other trade unions to make sure they join the platform, which is also out to influence the policies of the country. Once more, Hyacinth Chair report.
Signed and sealed the convention between the Confederation of Trade Unions in Cameroon and the Social Democratic Front to work together towards ameliorating the conditions of Cameroonian workers.
La convention en elle-même donne des engagements.
The convention is an engagement leading us to common actions, regular consultations to influence political and trade union actions. Trade unionists and politicians must work together because they have a common goal.
Ne peut pas être loin de la politique.
Today marks a big day for the Social Democratic Front. We called our platform the Calamo, which is the Cameroon labor movement, and this is intended to defend the interests of Cameroonian workers at the decision level, so that the platform together can work with the trade unions to make sure that what we do in Parliament, what we do in our councils, and what we do at government level is in the interest of the trade unions.
Putting pen to paper on December 12, 2023, at the SDF Secretariat in Yaoundé, both parties defined the role they have to play.
We have given ourselves objectives, we have given ourselves terms of reference on what our obligations are and what the expectations are from each party signatory to this convention. And I do hope that this is the beginning of better times for the Cameroonian workers. And of course, when the workers are happy, the economy grows and flourishes, and it means Cameroon progresses and develops.
They equally sent a clarion call to other trade unionists and civil society organizations to join the platform to influence decisions for the good of Cameroonians.
And the American Chamber of Commerce Cameroon, known as AmCham, has selected new members to run the affairs of the association for the next 2 years, beginning 2024, in a highly contested election that took place in Douala, December 12th. The members finally settled on 10 members plus one ex-official member to join the board, as we hear in the following report. This is the atmosphere that reigned during the annual elective General Assembly of the American Chamber of Commerce Cameroon that took place in Douala on December 12, 2023.
AmCham will start the 2024 to 2026 cycle with a new board ready to build on the successes of the past, efforts for business advocacy, for networking, capacity building, and promoting trade and development between the U.S. and Canada.
The electoral contention was on the interpretation of the law on representation in the board, as AmCham had to renew the board.
I will leverage on the expertise and experience that I have with an international bank, which actually focuses on trade, on investment, with high standards and values, and I will bring this wealth of experience to the board so that we can actually build the plan and also make sure that we action and achieve whatever we vibrate.
It was a critical decision to pick the 10 members of the board of AmCham Cameroon out of the 13 who filed their candidacy to be elected as board members.
Yes, I'm glad of the election that took place this evening. I think that members of AmCham elected a strong board, and I'm looking forward to great achievements with that board. I could lead it, why not? We started, we placed AmCham at a certain level, and I'm really looking forward to work with the new leadership to keep on growing.
And at the end of the challenging procedure, 10 members were finally voted to join the board for a 2-year term.
I'm very honored and I'll say surprised as well. Good surprise. And I can't wait to work and do what I've already started in the shadow, but now at the front face.
So prior to the renewal of the board, members of the American Chamber made an appraisal of the financial report as presented by the auditors, which was balanced in income and expenditure. Worthy of note, the American Chamber of Commerce Cameroon is a leading platform for U.S.-Cameroon bilateral trade and investment. For the 6:50 news with me, Kejang Henry Atimbe, in which you got information that it was a Black Tuesday in the northwest region of the country following the kidnapping of children or school children and teachers of government technical high school in Esura. And of course, we got information that cattle breeders are equally stepping up production as end-of-year feast draws closer, as well as the SDF that has signed a convention with more than 6 trade unions to make sure they influence policies for the betterment of Cameroonians. Thanks very much for being there with us. Goodbye.